if I block him, he's going to go out and double. So then I went right last second, I jumped back to the outside, took his line, and he got screwed up, didn't know what to do.
A little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. What I want you to want, what I want you to
Get a 15-minute warm-up in, break the track in. Well, it's already broke in from yesterday, but pay attention to where there may be slick spots and where there's some edges and this and that. And then from our 15-minute warm-up, we're gonna break down the groups a little bit, and group 1 will bust out at 30, and then that's all you guys really need to worry about right now. So break her in, boys.
Juicy. No, I thought I was going to be scared with the paddle, and it worked out.
It was getting better at the end.
Dude, so good. The lines were breaking in. This turn's so sweet right here. I like that.
Dude, how about like after the big step up, go down and go right off that huge roller? Yeah. Dude, I jumped off that roller and landed flat all the way in.
You covered Ben first lap, dude.
Really?
Because you like slowed up, and then next thing you know, you just dumped the clutch, dude, and ripped that jump.
I wasn't gonna jump, but then I'm like, nah,
it's all good. I
don't
care.
And when you can see right
30.
there.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
All right.
Like power.
You guys saw the track in practice. We know that there was a little bit of uncomfortableness in some of the corners. They were a little bit wet, but let's find some comfort in that, right? When we go racing, we don't have a choice. So good opportunity for that today. Track's really good for momentum. And don't be afraid to move around. I see a lot of guys in this sweeper here. Everybody's going way wide because they're a little scared of the wetness on the inside. The outside's got huge holes in it, and it's not necessarily better. So keep your eyes open out there.
Going fast, but like, I like gotta get it going. It's not a quick burst of acceleration.
Yeah, it's nice, like in high speed areas.
Yeah.
It's just right in the meat of the power all the time.
Yeah. But like coming up out of like this type stuff, like I feel like I'm just dragging. Even coming up the hill through here, this feels flat.
Pretty drastic change.
Oh, it's still taking me a while to get used to it.
When I was in the turns, when I started behind Cody, like I could keep up with him, but the jumps he'd hit, he'd just stay way lower than me.
Yeah,
he's just so good at that.
You can definitely tell the difference between guys that are on moto and woods guys when you guys jump.
I feel like a goon behind them in the jump.
don't tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you.
I ran out of hair off, and then he got me coming out of that turn. Dude, I buried it. I had dirt all my goggles, and then he like let me by, and then I pushed the front and I couldn't see it. And I was trying to go inside so you could go around me, but when the line went into the mud, and I was like, I either fall or reach the and I was like, sorry, man.
You got mad when I said, I keep fast. He's like, ah!
Well, and I was killing this turn, so when you, like, I thought you were behind me.
I don't get paid enough for this route.
And then I would look back to see, like, so I could go high here, but then it was like,
bike swap took him a
Woo! How's it feel?
A little sore, can't lie.
Your hand getting tired?
Yeah, just the grip strength in my hand is super weak right now. That's tough. I'm more like just resting it on the bar, but it's not bad.
You look fast.
I don't know about that.
I know, I was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll come back pretty quick, honestly. Doesn't feel too bad. Once I get the grip strength back in this, yeah, feeling strong.
Ryder, that was a good start for you. You look playful, like you look every day. You look more confident. You just really gotta work on now not stabbing your foot on the exits of corners, because every time it swings, it's not a big deal when your leg swings. It's a big deal when it twists your hips and you lose that squareness. Every time you kaboom, and then it just messes up the exit. You can't keep doing that. Press day action, checking the track out, seeing what these guys are doing. We only get to ride a little bit of the track for press, but it's cool to get to come out here and kind of see as they're still working on it. But this dirt is almost to the T identical to our main track, our main pad, which is cool. We're very familiar with this dirt.
What do you think about the sand? Feels kind of almost heavy.
Sand is this is gonna be a vocal point in the track for sure. It's going to be challenging to knife the inside because it's really tight, and with Supercross suspension, the fork is the tricky part sometimes entering sand. You can lose the front end real easy, or you can plow it. And this sand is very fine sand, so it'll be interesting. I don't mind sand sections, but I don't mind when there's not any either, but we cut in this exact style of a sand section back on our OG sand track, so we had a lot of reps on it, so hopefully our guys are comfortable and we take this section and make it a positive. But yeah, overall track looks good, peaky, real good rhythms, everything's built up nice and tall, looks good.
Dirt looks like home to me. You know, we got we got the main track, really looks identical, quite literally identical dirt. Yeah, I haven't been to the stadium actually. It doesn't seem that big, but we got a decent track layout. So
it's like Salt Lake.
Yeah, I like the longer. Yeah, it is just like Salt Lake. How do you say that?
College football.
The layout's like really, you know, we got a lot of crossing and over here, so I think longer layout is better. Less laps.
What about the wraparound?
Yeah, we practiced. We had the OG sand track jumping over the table, you know, so we work all points that need to be worked. So we did a lot of starts this last few weeks, so that's the main thing I care about. If I don't get good starts, I'm gotta keep working, I guess. I don't know. I better get good starts. All right. That was good. Your track was dry.
Look fun.
Oh, yeah, I was just whipping it.
I know.
Yeah, it was good though. I don't know. Normal press day. It's riding for fun, really. It's like our main track, but when it's like dry and crummy, like at the end of the day, where like the berms just turn into powder, no ruts. Like that's how it was. It was like that powder and then one hard edge right at the exit.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. There's only the corner after the finish line had ruts in it because it was wet. But if it's wet tomorrow, it'll rut up pretty good.
And the right-hander after that, kind of ruddy.
A little bit, but it's still really powdery.
Yeah, yeah. The top one. Yeah. Was it right between the?
Very small ones, just like pop.
Okay.
Like kind of, you know how our rhythms have been at
Yeah.
home, like those curves.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Here in Alabama, indoor parking, which is cool. But yeah, Futures round and Triple Crown, which is sick. Our last Futures round was Daytona with actually these three guys as well, Ryder, Alex, and Jessen. So pumped we get to do it again. A lot of people, especially the YouTube audience, maybe a lot of the attention goes to the pro guys, which is part of it. But these guys have quietly been putting their time in too, which has been really cool. Last race at Daytona, Jessen got on the podium. Alex had got away with a big lead and got a flat tire, and Ryder had a big step forward qualifying, like P3 or 4. And yeah, I think it's cool seeing the progression. Like this is kind of the first couple years we've had the opportunity to really train amateur guys on Supercross. And we have two separate groups, so we got kind of that learning group where we work a lot of technique, we break down the fundamentals of the sport. It's really cool seeing it pay off for these guys, and honestly, the evolution of the sport's going to be crazy with the progression you're seeing at the pro level now, the technicality, but these future kids that are coming through is going to be that next change of the sport. We're going to see the intensity with the technique just completely evolve. So it's been really cool to see. Ryder, he's got some momentum building. I think he's going to be really competitive this weekend. Alex should be too, and Jessen as well. Yeah, really excited to see these guys kind of keep taking those steps, and then as they kind of scratch and claw their way, these three are really competitive within the pro group training now, which is interesting. But it's taken months and months and months of work, and keeping them healthy and keeping the technique at the forefront of their focus is really important. But for Alabama, we got a red clay, which is actually identical to our main track, so we're very familiar with this dirt. The sand section that turns around on itself and goes under the tunnel, we were able to replicate that on one of our sand tracks with the tabletop into it. That'll be interesting to see if that becomes a favor. But yeah, I think the three of these guys are really dialed in, and Max is coming around too. So we went 5th, and then he got a 10th at the East-West Shootout. He's still learning the new setup. Unfortunately, we spent our whole off season on a setup we thought was what we needed to be with his clutch pack, and having the rear brake and the clutch being run simultaneously is, a lot of muscle memory programs. So we've just had to accept the fact that we got to be patient with Max to let him really learn this before we start pushing, and because he wants it. We don't even have to push Max. Max is highly competitive. He's driven. He's locked in. He's as dedicated as it gets. So I think with his bike in general, we've gone away from essentially we thought he had to have an auto clutch to work this system, otherwise he stalls it because of his nerve in his foot. He can't lift his foot off the rear brake pedals, so therefore we had to put the rear brake on the bars. Now he's back on the clutch pack that we run across the board, the one that as a race team we've developed with for 4 or 5 years. A lot of people think, oh, it's just a clutch, but when you're pushing these 250s to the absolute limit and the rev limiters are high, the torque and power output's high, the clutches on these bikes are the weak point because they're just not built to withstand, you know, this kind of performance from an OEM standpoint. So you have to really play this game of maximizing the life of it. Make sure you're basically we're finishing races, right? That's like kind of the point you push it to. And every race team in this paddock does. It's not just us. So now Max is relearning a new clutch pack, which we're going to be patient with, but I think you're actually going to see him start to build some momentum here now over these next few rounds. And at the end of the day, we just hope to make as much progress in Supercross as we can and carry that into outdoors, because he should be a player both in Supercross and outdoors, but we're still kind of going through some growing pains, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. We signed up for it. We knew what we were getting into. He knew what he was getting into. We've been tested, and the challenge is still on.
Bunch of laps together and kind of just rode a nice little moto. Improved his time a little bit. P7 going into first main event. It's kind of where we've been. He's been that 7, 8, 9 in qualifying. But I think we'll get some consistency out of Max tonight. We'll get a good overall.
I wouldn't say we really had this planned out as part of our program, but you know, like Jessen, for example, he's on a support deal where we help him with bikes and limited on parts, and you know, he's not on the same engine suspension as we are, but still a good platform. And that's actually where Alex and Ryder were last year too. And then as they kind of earn their way up and we realize they need better stuff, you know, now Ryder's on what we call a good spec. It's like our base spec. It's actually our last year's spec. And that's been a graduate to him. But then Alex, as we've seen him set pole in both futures rounds and proven that he's got the speed and ready for that next step. Now this will be actually the first weekend he's on our A spec, which is this year's model. Engine, suspension, all the updates. So it's cool having this feeder system. A kid can come to club like Alex, who was a C rider 2 years ago, and Jessen and Ryder, all the above, right? They can come and just get started, and as they earn their way, we just have to find ways to keep them growing with us. Because what's an opportunity for them is an opportunity for us, and that's the way the race team really needs to be. Most race teams operate on, hey, we'll pay for results. We want to bid on this rider to get us to this level, and that's part of the game. But sometimes when you don't have the budgets to go against the factory level guys on salaries or the amount of equipment you can spread, right? We can't help everybody, but we try. These are one of the opportunities that as they prove themselves, we just have to find ways to continue to allow them to grow. And when they perform and they do good, then we will grow with it on the backside. So I kind of consider it an investment, you know, like sometimes you got to lay it down and hope for the best, and on the backside you make up for it once you prove yourself. And these guys are helping us do that, and we want to continue to kind of create this feeder system, right? Alex is now on a contract that carries him into pros, and excited for that next step, and then, you know, potentially the next guy can come fill that spot.
Got a little banged up.
Been rough.
Just tough to breathe right now?
Yeah, my back's pretty messed up. My back and my wrist. Calling it on that. Hopefully these boys can do good. So it sucks, but that's how it is.
It's part of the sport, right?
corner or two, you gotta get out there. First corner go down, and then the second one when they come up and push you up, because you were like 5, and then you went back to 8 right there, just because the guys kept coming up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the position I was in, I was sitting behind Seth, and Seth, someone messed up a rhythm there on the inside, so then I had no option to cut across.
Attempt in every corner, and you're good. But you laid the groundwork. You made it look easy. You're just out there like almost too easy.
Before that jump over table, and I already knew, and I went as tight as I could of that berm, and he still almost met me at the exit. Yeah. Yeah, I had to defend pretty hard there at the end.
Ultimately, that's what we want. That's why the ClubMx and the race team marry themselves so well. We have resources, the facility, the training, we have all that for sure, but guys can really come to club and get started, and if we see a dude that's dedicated and he's all into his craft, it's hard not to want to help.
What happened? I just kind of just chased Sexton, to be honest. I was just 2, 3, 2.
Yeah.
And I went 3, and I landed in the ruts for the 2, and I kind of just like was just soaking up that 2, and I just fully committed to soaking it up, and I kind of got kicked in, and then I kind of cased it, and then I just looped it, and I just looped over the fence. And then I'm happy I didn't get too caught up in that fence.
Yeah.
And then my bike, like.
Yeah, I watched you. You were riding over the top of the
Yeah,
wheel.
and then I got up, and the bike was kind of.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I don't even know where I'm at. I'm just gonna go.
Still, man, you're mad. I would be mad too. We all would be. But honestly, you're riding so good, dude.
I appreciate it.
You're riding
Great
so
day.
good.
It was a really good day all around. Other than first qual practice, scratch that one.
First 2.
Yeah, awesome day.
But you brought it for the race, and that's what counts most.
Thank
I give you props. That was your win. Mistakes like that happen, dude. I know you're gonna.
I was saying, tell Ryder, I've been there before.
Yeah, we all have. We all have, dude.
And you owe me another set of bars.
Better to do it in that class than to do it in the big class.
Felt good and decent on the track. I just got a little unlucky with the knife my front.
I think there was a lot of unluckiness going around. Old dude stuck on the top of the tunnel.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think I was.
The man's bike was literally wedged in.
I think I was not luckiest person a little bit.
You know what they say? Sometimes you just gotta eat some. just to get through it all, and then good things will come.
We'll fight through it, man. We're mans.
You're men. Men fight through it. They can feel it.
Exactly. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna go through it. Next one. On to the next one.